I don't get it. What was Titania's plan? Like, just to have a fist fight with her at a wedding? That was her like, huh? Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis and my review of She-Hulk episode, I want to say 6. I'm livid right now. First thing is, where the is Daredevil? Yeah, Daredevil did not show up, so I'm irate right now. But there's another reason why I might be irate. I'm going to get into this, but first I got to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis so we can keep bringing you these She-Hulk rants. Let's get down to it. Brass tacks. I actually believe that at this point, this show is in competition with Iron Fist as the worst thing Marvel has ever created. This episode was so hard to sit through. Last episode was a little better than decent and therefore my favorite episode. But oftentimes when they're getting the CGI right, pretty much got the CGI right this time around. Everything else is just not entertaining. It's not funny. It's not silly, doesn't even invoke a giggle. It's not funny in the sense, like, you know when you watch an old Disney show that you used to like when you were a kid, and you turn it on again, and you're like, oh, it's Phil of the Future, and you giggle at how corny and family-friendly it is, so it's still cute and heartwarming. She-Hulk isn't even that. I'm not even sure what they are producing, but they failed on almost every level to produce anything that's salvageable as a show. It's at this point, it seems like a practice of wasting my time. Now, they did introduce a bunch of superhero characters, a lot of throwbacks to the comics, but none of them was the one we were expecting. We want Daredevil. We want Daredevil. We want our Daredevil, just like the kids wanted their MTV. We want our Daredevil, and he was not present in this. So our first throw to the comic books comes from Mr. Immortal, a non-costumed version of himself, the leader of the Great Lakes Avengers. The Great Lakes Avengers with Mr. Immortal, I believe it's Flatman, and Big Bartha and a bunch of other idiots are a comedic wing of the Avengers. It's kind of makes fun of the fact that everyone cool is from New York, and if you're not from New York, a place like or any city around the Great Lakes, you're a freaking loser. And that's the ongoing gag in Marvel because Marvel is created by a bunch of New York elitists. I'm pretending not to be from New York right now. And he appears, and his comedy and his plot went literally nowhere. They were the worst lawyers to serve him, as in he would fake his own death to get out of weddings. And then at the end of the day, his own lawyers were willing to hand over pieces of his property and divide them amongst all his wives. But the thing is, he's either guilty of polygamy or the only woman who has rights to any property at the time of his original death was his first wife, because you can't marry 7 times without officially getting divorced. Anyone knows that, except the writers of this show. It was completely idiotic. You're wondering, how are they going to get them out of this one? They don't bother to do that. So then in the wedding, typical wedding sitcom stuff happens. And I'm understanding of that. The bride is a bridezilla. The bridesmaids are being told they have to do stupid things because the bride is unreasonable. The best man is a dog. Okay, that's really, really cute and funny. It's hard to find the right person to hook up with at a wedding. I don't find that to be the case. I should delete that from this video. But ultimately, Titania has a thing where she befriends her friends, She-Hulk's friends, so she can be invited to this wedding, and you're like, is she going to make a fool out of herself? Is she going to steal her blood? Is she going to frame her for something? No, her master plan is to walk up to She-Hulk when she's throwing up and just throw a punch at her. It was literally the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I honestly think that whole sequence, not the fight itself, and we'll get to the fight in a second, was as stupid as when Iron Fist gains the trust of his fellow compatriot by proving that he's a good guy by doing a flip over a car. Yeah, it happened. And so I am at a loss for what's going on. Now they finally have a fight, and they are literally doing quake hits to the ground when the super strong person hits the ground and, tremor starts. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. Let's do this. Let's 2 superhuman badass with super strength mixing it up. And then what should happen? Because they don't like fighting in this show, apparently, they have Titania slip on some ice and break her veneers, which doesn't make any sense because she's a superhuman, which means her teeth should also be as invulnerable as her skin, if not more, because the thing that binds our teeth to our gums is incredibly strong. I gotta calm down. This is not good. This is not healthy. This is not healthy what I'm going through right now. And then our next comic book connection is the Intelligencia. Now, Marvel keeps doing this, and it's not with their shows. To update characters or things or organizations from comic books, they choose the silliest route. They're like, what do the kids know about? So they take Intelligencia, an organization of super criminals. They're similar to the Illuminati or the Cabal, where they're a group of a council of evildoers who all have super intelligence. Their leader is the Leader, one of the Hulk's greatest villains, and he is in a group with the Red Ghost, with Egghead, with MODOK, and a couple of others, those who are just super intelligent. And the reason why they're never able to formulate their plans is because they're so arrogant, they're always scheming against each other. And when they go against each other's machinations, they ruin their chances of beating the Hulk or whoever they're up against this week. And so instead of making them that, or maybe they are in the shadows, they turn them into a website that's basically the white equivalent of World Star Hip Hop. Where they just put stupid videos on it, and then people are trashing She-Hulk and a bunch of people on it, and they sign on, they create a log on, they go on there, and they see there's a secret conspiracy on this Reddit-esque website. That's not a conspiracy, that's a public website, to cancel or ruin the day of She-Hulk, which is like, at any given time, any celebrity is going through that. So this is not a conspiracy worthy of anything. And so one of the things they're really doing is, if they're trying to attempt a feminist angle at something, they're really discrediting women and feminism in superheroes. They are really going out of their way to make the trials and tribulations of a female superhero as trivially as human possible. Now, I'm a big fan of the comic book of She-Hulk. I particularly like the John Burns run, and I just love her in general. She's a great character when she guest stars. I'm into it. And although those were all comedic, especially when she's breaking the fourth wall, love it. She beat Deadpool to that, by the way. Really, at the end of the day, she still fights real villains and actually solves world crises and actually saves people and gets into fights. And there are some really badass She-Hulk fights out there. And so they're depriving her of that in the name of comedy that doesn't even make any sense. The Mr. Immortal plotline wasn't wrapped up in any sufficient way. At the end of it, you ask, why did I have to sit through this? Why did you keep jumping back to these idiots? Now, I remember last week, I was all about Ginger Gonzaga. I was like, yeah, she's great, she's funny. Not so much in this. Her antics or her plot, it's not even a written plot. It's like somebody put some notes on a cocktail napkin when they were getting drunk at happy hour, and they needed to turn in a script, and instead they turned in the napkin. It was that pathetic. And so the Intelligencia now appears, and we all know Leader is going to appear as the main villain in Captain America, The New World Order. Will Intelligencia entirely be there? What's going on here? Now, I always thought the background to these villains was going to be Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom, should be the one because he's the one who made Titania, but I guess they might be saving him for Black Panther or wherever he's going to show up. But I guess She-Hulk does not make the cut to have Doctor Doom interfere in her life, and instead they're going to have these idiots. Now, I guess it's clear that the real mastermind behind all these people is the Leader. And I can't wait to see the Leader now. I'm sorry. The actor who played the Leader in the movie is fine. I just don't think he can play the Leader, and I don't know why he was cast. And remember, that movie, The Incredible Hulk, happened before Marvel was Marvel, and they were just throwing out roles to everybody. The dad from Modern Family was cast as Doc Samson. A worse casting I cannot imagine. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is headed, but I really want to give up on the show, and I'm starting to really regret that I started to review it. I'm really a naive idiot, and I want my money and I want my time back. Quite frankly, this has ruined my Thursday mornings. So thanks for nothing, Marvel. You can suck a... Oh, man, I'm going to have to do a lot of editing in this one. Anyway, what did you think of it? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Do I have anything else to say to you? You know what? We're going to overcome this nonsense. If you want to go have fun, go watch Andor. It's a nuanced, tone-emitting galaxy far, far away. Really makes you feel like you're there. Check that thing out. But until next time, ciao for now. Yeah, Andor will